Hey folks, video for Tuesday, the 26th of June. Yeah, still wearing the porcupine tree shirt. If you're new to my channel, I guess you don't know that I am a big porcupine tree fan. Like them quite a bit. I've seen them 4 times, have a lot of their records. I'm missing Yellow Hedgerow. That's the one I'm missing on vinyl. Great band, and Richard Barbieri is a friend of mine, the keyboardist. I thought that a comment on my video, well, first off, Susan Mitchell, thanks for your support, and glad you're still watching. You asked me about several musicians. Do I know about? Most of the names didn't ring a bell. I didn't look them up, but I'll tell you this. I'm interested in discovering music. The fun way to discover it is if you send it to me, or, I'll be honest, it's like looking stuff up online when I'm in the mood. Sometimes I'll do. But when people send me stuff, that's a fun way to find out about new music. So yesterday in the comments, people enjoying my commentary. I'm just talking off, saying what I think. And there was a comment about Roy Wood that made me think, well, let me do this, okay? So I showed you where Brett Harold Hart had given me this Roy Wood album, Mustard. And I told you how yesterday I found it basically annoying. But someone commented that they didn't even know who Roy Wood was. And I said, oh, okay, well, let me talk about that, because you should know who Roy Wood is, okay? Just like people, when it comes to rock and roll history, if you know your history, then you know about Little Richard and Chuck Berry and Elvis Presley and the Beatles and Fats Domino and Bo Diddley and the Rolling Stones and all that stuff, okay? But there's also these other layers of the history that are important, okay? And Roy Wood figures in. He figures in. One of the cool bands out of Britain in the 60s, into the 70s, was a band called The Move. And The Move had some real cool songs. Brontosaurus is one that comes to mind right away. Roy Wood was the leader of this band. And they had a couple of, they had some cool songs. Flowers in the Rain. This actually is historic. Years ago, a member of the VC from Australia, I don't know if he's still with us, if he's even still alive, sent me packages of singles. And he sent me these Move singles and illustrated the, illustrated the sleeves for me and everything. Here's another one, Blackberry Way. This one was actually a fairly well-known hit in England. That's who Roy Wood is. He was the leader of the band The Move. Here is their album, Looking On. This is a good album. It's the only Move album I have. A Head Rings Out, and they have a couple more. Wouldn't mind having them all. But here's more, okay? So you know who the Electric Light Orchestra is, right? You know about Jeff Lynne, right? The leader of Electric Light Orchestra. Also the Traveling Wilburys. Well, he didn't start the Electric Light Orchestra. Roy Wood did. Roy Wood started the Electric Light Orchestra. Let It Go went on to start Wizard. So that has a lot to do with this, where Roy is being a complete orchestra. This album I just don't think is really nearly as good song-wise as this one. So I've had this for years, Boulders by Roy Wood. Same guy playing all the instruments, but the vision of this album is together, whereas this one is kind of like a mishmash to me. I thought it would be worth mentioning that stuff, because, yeah, I'm old, and rock and roll and music is old. It's 2018 and there's all this history. And at my age, I'm still thinking stuff that I grew up with, everybody should know about, people don't know about. I play with people who are younger than my kids, and I'll mention stuff and they are clueless what I'm talking about. And to me, it's major. It's like, well, shit, everybody. I thought everybody knew that about music, and they don't. So that's why I thought I'd share with you who Roy Wood is. Yeah, Roy Wood is someone that we should know about. Like Neil Young, like all these, he has his place in history. On Mondays, I help out at Hugo's Art Gallery with public relations things. I write letters to businesses for them, for the gallery, and I write music for the videos that accompany. They'll make video presentations of their art exhibits, and I write the music for that. Well, we meet on Mondays, and Hugo bought a stereo, and so I've been the other main member of the staff besides me. Well, it's 6 staff, but the other main guy, the executive director, is Dereck, a great local artist, but also a music lover, and he's been bringing his records over in the last few weeks since Hugo bought a turntable. So now I'm taking records over to share. Now Hugo, I do give Hugo shit because his taste in music is populist. He doesn't really listen. He's listening to it for the proper background socially. And it's true, Hugo, if you see this. I'm not talking down, I'm telling the truth. A lot of people are like this. Music is a backdrop for them. It's not alive, okay? So I'll take stuff over and try to get Hugo's attention. If he doesn't recognize the genre, it's just choop choop. But Dereck Shockey, on the other hand, is my man. He's been bringing over Velvet Underground, and last night he brought over The Faint, and just all kinds of cool records. So I took Bjork's Hyper Ballad Outcast mixes, a 10-inch single last night. Hugo never heard a word, never even noticed that this was playing. Dereck and I really enjoyed this. I took this Tin Machine 10-inch. I don't have the album. I just have this 10-inch, Under the God. David Bowie. This really cooks. There's an interview on the B-side here. And this just makes a whole lot more sense now than it did when it first came out to me. I know what David said. He said he just wanted to be in a band. He just wanted to rock. And when it first came out, I thought the songs were just okay. But now I hear the rage. I hear it. This is good. This is good. We didn't get to this, but I took this to play an Outcast 10-inch. What is it? Morris Brown? Morris Brown is on one side, and the other side is Idlewild Blue, Don't You Worry About Me. We didn't get to this one yet, but this one I thought that, well, Hugo might dig this. He knows who Outcast is. We never got to it. Another one that I wanted to take and decided not to because I knew that it would fall on deaf ears was an ambient 10-inch by Fenez. 7 stars. So I played this when I got home last night. Man, this is just gorgeous. I use the word ambient. It's just beautiful, flowing instrumental music that is almost psychedelic. To me, ambient and psychedelic sometimes are interchangeable. Fenez. The other thing I took over that we did play was I took some Funkadelic. We didn't play Maggot Brain, but we played Cosmic Slop, and Hugo noticed that. He did, he noticed the funk. Dereck and I really got up on this, Funkadelic is major, Funkadelic, if it weren't for racism, and you guys that have been with me for a long time know, I'm going to speak my mind here. You guys that are new to me, get ready for it, because I'll say exactly what I'm thinking, and sometimes it's political, and it's my opinion, and I'll share it. And mature people can handle differences of maturity, differences of opinion. A lot of people aren't very mature. But what I'm about to say is this. Funkadelic, if it wasn't for racism, would be regarded the same as the Rolling Stones. Okay? They are that significant musically, historically. What they did was probably more. It was more revolutionary. It was revolutionary. The Stones wasn't. The Stones helped to bring black music back to America by little skinny white boys liking the blues. Thank them for that. The Funkadelic revolutionized rock and roll in a lot of ways by bringing funk and rock and psychedelia together. And the fans know it, but the proper status quo rock world, they don't put them on the same level as the Beatles and the Stones, and in my strong opinion, they should. Here's another great Funkadelic album, Standing on the Verge of Getting It On. I make these little comments because I can and I want to share them. Some people benefit from them. Some people get angered by them. Either way, it's what I see and I want to share it. And I think it's important to share. It's a crazy world and it's just not getting any better. And I do comment on it because it bugs me, okay? I pulled this thinking I was going to put it in the for sale pile. No, Merry Goes Round. I don't know much about this band. It's got that, to me, it was like the forerunner of what they ended up calling shoegaze. This probably came out in the 80s. I'd have to look it up. Can't see too well. But when I put it on, it's like, it was a little grungy, a little lo-fi. Not lo-fi, but just, the musicians aren't really that good. Really simple kind of takeoff on the kind of melodies that we got from early records by The Cure and Joy Division. And I got sucked into it. I ended up playing this twice. Merry Goes Round. This is good. I thought I was going to sell it. I like that about my collection in that I still have stuff to listen to that maybe I just didn't really catch it the first time around. And this is for, I think your name is Gordon. Sometimes Gordon asks me about, I think that's his name, will ask me about artists, like artists who I consider kind of commercial. He asked me about Steve Winwood. I don't have any Steve Winwood records. Steve Winwood is good, but a lot of those commercial albums like Arcade of a Diver and stuff, and there's no reason for me to buy those records. I have a couple of Michael Jackson records, okay? But there's no Madonna over here. There's no Dire Straits. There's no Police. There's none of that shit in here, and that's not a put down. Don't get mad because I said called it shit. What I'm saying is, for me, as here in Nebraska, where I grew up, black, always feeling like an outsider, even in my own black community, this music helped me to cement my identity, who I am in this world. And I'm an outsider. I have a car now with a radio. I didn't for the last 15 years. So when I'm in the car, I listen to the radio. I hear no representation of who I am on the radio. None. Even the local station that plays jazz. They play this jazz light bullshit, So, no, I don't have commercial stuff, that you would assume. No Huey Lewis, no. Are those musicians good at what they do? Yeah. But do I need them in my house? No. Thanks, folks. Be okay with people having opinions because we have opinions. Are some of you under the false impression that someone's impression is the right one? Where is that from? Opinions are opinions. No one is. Who sets the template? No one. You ever think about that? Who's in charge? Ain't nobody in charge. We're all trying to figure it out. So, handle opinions. Everyone has one. And there is no such thing as the correct opinion. There is such a thing as compassion and care and concern. Those are things that make sense to me, which is, I think, a bit beyond opinion. You know what I'm saying? Someone hurts you, you help ease their suffering. Do you need an opinion to do that?